own do-it-yourself wooden launcher thing. As for why you would make it, I don't know. It's your own project. But if you're concerned like, oh, well, this doesn't look like what was previewed at the beginning, that's because I wanted to show the bare bones, because this is all you really need. You can do it all with just a saw and a drill. And in fact, I had most of this cut by the people at Home Depot. So what I did, I used a 2x3 piece of wood because I didn't want to deal with a super thick panel here. And I'll show you the quick mechanism so it makes real sense. Pull this all the way down. There's this type of hook. This is actually reminiscent of like medieval crossbows. And you step on it and it'll fire. The idea is though, you need to buy these parts individually, obviously. But you can just get it to cut to this. So this is about a 60-degree angle. And all you need, you can get this single piece of 2x3 wood from Home Depot for like $. Have it cut to this right here is this long piece right here, 22-ish inches. These are two 7-inch pieces of wood here. And this, you probably don't want to do it this way if you don't have that much technology. Just get it up to here, and that's about 15 inches. No biggie. And then just drill it here, and a door hinge if you really want this. But to be honest, you could just fire it without the foot peg. I just preferred it for my own purposes. So if I were to just same result. The hardest part is probably going to be this notch here, and there's a few ways to go about this. I cut this part here and then made a notch inward. Doesn't matter if it's a triangle or anything. You could have also elevated this piece of wood to allow the elastic to go through. So make do with what you can. The bigger concern is the hole here relative to the notch. The hole is here and here. So you want the center of the hole to align to roughly the center of the notch. The point of this notch. Hence why you want the triangle, so you can tell it easily. And that way you'll be able to push it out. Our first iteration, we had to cut a bit more because the hole was not lined up properly. And that's about it. For holding this elastic here, all I did was have a bit of spacing in between these pieces of wood. You either drill it lightly or I saw it a bit on this side. And that's it. The elastic, I bought like 5 bands for like $10 from just whatever workout. I'll link it down below. And door hinge also from Home Depot. So you're looking at a fun little launcher mechanism for less than probably $20. It's not a bad do-it-yourself kind of project. And all you need again are mostly a drill and a method of making this. A saw. I used a hand saw. You can use an electrical saw to probably help a lot faster. But now, let's see what I can do to just, pretty it up. So, before I get to what I did to improve it, I want to talk about some of the weaknesses. So, right now, I've used a 2x3 for everything. And we have this 3-inch, which is actually more of a 2.5-inch lane. The problem is, when I put a can here, it would actually bump into these sides pretty often. So you may want to go with a 2x4, but I didn't want to make this piece of wood too thick. The other issue is obviously if you don't get the right height, you may have to saw this down yourself. Another problem is this is a 60-degree angle, and you'll see why 60 degrees might not be appropriate for your purposes. I didn't catch it that well, but it hit straight into those trees. Mind you, this should be done on the floor. Versus if you just add a few blocks of wood to this side, it'd probably shoot further forward. So I've added 2 blocks of wood there. I don't know what degree that is, but now you can see it sort of fire much more forward. It still hit the tree above me, which isn't that high, but that's just something to keep in mind. The bands here are not the strongest. I chose the red one. Out of the set of 10 I bought, the black would have been the strongest. And the last weakness of this entire thing is you go to the grass and it has very unstable grounding, so you may want to do something. Because when I was trying to step it with the foot pedal earlier, like you could knock it over. It's just hard to balance. So that's what you need to. So that's what you should keep in mind once you improve from the bare bones design. How you go from here is really up to you. I think the important thing is just this trigger mechanism. This will take the hardest and the most effort. Lastly, you may want to have some sort of way to deal with how the bands flap forward. Essentially, this is a glorified slingshot crossbow, which if you want to use it that way, set these up for a 90-degree angle. But yeah, besides that, let's see what I'll do to fix her up. Oh, and of course, I'm not a carpenter or woodworker, so I'm kind of just eyeballing what I need to do. But yeah, here we go. Final project of the wooden launcher. I didn't use any more wood than I already purchased, so this part and this part was already from the leftover 8 feet wood I bought, and it works pretty well. This is to like pivot if I needed, grass stability. The only thing I will say, use pilot holes. If the camera can kind of see, it's cracked here and it started causing some problems as we're doing that. But it worked great. It was fun. Halfway through this, I got thinking, what if I made it into a more actual crossbow design? So let's stick around. That'll probably what I'm going to be doing next.